The psychology of joining secret societies is deeply rooted in some of the most profound and enduring human desires: an intense craving for power, a longing for belonging, a thirst for hidden knowledge, a search for identity and meaning, and a fascination with the unknown. Secret societies have always appealed to the human psyche, not simply because they promise material benefits or social advancement, but because they offer something far more seductive: access to an exclusive world that exists beneath the surface of ordinary life. For many individuals, especially those who feel alienated, marginalized, or disillusioned by the mainstream structures of society, these clandestine groups provide a sense of order and purpose in a seemingly chaotic world. The secrecy itself is powerful. What is hidden naturally invites curiosity, and the sense of being initiated into a private realm of knowledge creates an intoxicating sense of importance and distinction. From ancient mystery cults to modern fraternities and elite global cabals, secret societies cloak themselves in rituals, symbols, and arcane traditions, tapping into the archetypal allure of mystery that has fascinated humanity for millennia. Psychologically, this process of initiation and secrecy satisfies a primal need to be part of an in-group. The very act of secrecy creates boundaries between the initiated and the profane, the enlightened and the ignorant, and being inside that boundary satisfies the ego's need for superiority, control, and identity. For some, the appeal lies in the promise of power, not necessarily overt political dominance, but the subtler power that comes with influence, hidden knowledge, and the feeling of being several steps ahead of the uninitiated masses. Secret societies often present themselves as guardians of ancient wisdom, as architects behind great events, or as invisible hands shaping the destiny of nations. And for those who join, the fantasy of pulling hidden levers behind the curtain can be an irresistible draw. The power of belonging should not be underestimated. Humans are social creatures, and our survival as a species has long depended on group cohesion and loyalty. In the modern world, however, as traditional sources of community like religion, tribe, and neighborhood erode under the weight of globalization and digital isolation, people find themselves adrift, looking for a deeper connection and shared purpose. Secret societies step in to fill this vacuum, offering tight-knit brotherhoods, intense rituals of bonding, and shared myths that can generate a profound sense of loyalty and identity. The very exclusivity of the group, the fact that it is not open to all, makes membership feel more meaningful. Once inside, individuals are often immersed in layers of tradition, ceremony, and hierarchy, which create a strong sense of structure and belonging. The rituals serve not only as symbolic reenactments of the group's mythos, but also as psychologically binding experiences that cement the individual's allegiance to the society. Many people join such organizations during periods of personal transition or crisis, moments when their old identity is dissolving and they are seeking something new to anchor themselves to. The secret society then becomes not only a source of social connection, but a crucible for transformation. Through initiation, the individual undergoes a symbolic death and rebirth, shedding the old self and emerging as someone elevated, reborn into a higher order. The psychological effects of this are profound, giving members a renewed sense of self-worth and cosmic significance. Another powerful motivator is the desire for forbidden or hidden knowledge. Throughout history, secret societies have claimed to guard esoteric truths, whether alchemical formulas, spiritual enlightenment, ancient philosophies, or even conspiratorial secrets about world governments and cosmic realities. This taps into the human drive for mastery over the unknown. For millennia, mystery schools and initiatory orders have promised to lift the veil of illusion and reveal what lies behind the curtain of ordinary reality. In a world where most people feel deceived or manipulated by official narratives, whether political, religious, or scientific, secret societies offer an alternative epistemology, a different way of understanding reality that feels more authentic and profound. This appeal is particularly strong for people with skeptical, questioning minds who feel let down by conventional institutions. The esoteric knowledge is often encoded in symbols, rituals, and texts that require interpretation, and the act of deciphering these becomes part of the psychological reward. It gives members a sense of cognitive agency. They are no longer passive consumers of mainstream truths, but active seekers, capable of unveiling the mysteries of existence. This intellectual empowerment is not just academic, it is existential. It allows people to construct their own narratives of meaning, their own maps of reality, and to feel a part of something larger, older, and wiser than the modern world. Moreover, joining a secret society often fulfills a deep psychological need for purpose and destiny. These groups do not merely exist as social clubs, they often frame themselves as protectors of humanity, agents of spiritual evolution, or architects of a better world. They offer a mission, a heroic journey, a cause. In contrast to the often fragmented and nihilistic experience of modern life, secret societies present a coherent story in which each member has a role to play, a sacred duty. The idea that one has been chosen or called to join such a group provides an existential anchor, a sense that one's life is not random or meaningless, but part of a grand design. This psychological mechanism is similar to religious conversion or political radicalization. It creates a worldview in which the self is important, the group is special, and the mission is urgent. Even in societies that claim secularism and rationalism, people still seek mythic structures to make sense of their lives, and secret societies often supply these in spades, complete with sacred texts, founding myths, moral codes, enemies, and ultimate goals. The emotional resonance of this kind of belonging can be enormous. It replaces doubt with certainty, chaos with order, and anonymity with purpose. Another layer of psychological allure is rooted in rebellion and transgression. To join a secret society is often to stand apart from the mainstream, to reject the ordinary path, and to embrace something that is hidden, forbidden, or even feared. This is especially appealing to those with anti-authoritarian streaks, or those who feel stifled by social norms. The act of joining becomes a symbolic rebellion, a way of asserting individuality against the mass culture, or of claiming independence from the control of conventional institutions. This element of danger or deviance enhances the psychological thrill. Even when the society's true practices are benign, the mere fact that others perceive it as secretive or sinister adds a certain romanticism and mystique. For young men in particular, secret societies can also serve as a rite of passage, a way to test their courage, prove their loyalty, and demonstrate their worthiness in a society that often lacks formal rites of maturity. The psychological impact of crossing into the inner sanctum, of being trusted with hidden truths and welcomed into elite circles, can be incredibly validating, particularly for those who have struggled with feelings of invisibility, inferiority, or alienation. In addition, many people are drawn to secret societies out of nostalgia or fascination with the past. These groups often claim ancient lineages, tracing their origins back to the Templars, the Egyptians, the Druids, or the lost civilizations of Atlantis. Whether these claims are historically accurate is often beside the point. What matters is the psychological power of myth. To be part of a group that sees itself as the modern torchbearer of ancient wisdom is to be part of a timeless legacy. This creates a profound psychological link between the individual and human history, allowing members to feel that they are participating in a grand continuum that transcends their personal lifespan. It also provides a sense of stability in a world that is increasingly fragmented, fast-paced, and future-obsessed. By anchoring themselves in traditions that are said to stretch back thousands of years, individuals gain a sense of rootedness and permanence. This historical dimension often comes with elaborate pageantry, robes, symbols, chants, and rituals that immerse the participant in a mythic world. The aesthetics of the society reinforce its psychological appeal, creating an atmosphere that feels charged with meaning, gravity, and sacredness. Lastly, the appeal of secret societies often lies in the very psychology of secrecy itself. Secrecy is psychologically powerful because it implies that there is something worth hiding, something dangerous, special, or sacred. It heightens the value of information and intensifies group cohesion. Within such a context, even mundane knowledge can take on the aura of mystery. The act of keeping and sharing secrets is itself a form of social bonding, one that is stronger than ordinary friendship or acquaintance. Secrets require trust, and trust builds intimacy. When members share in the secrecy of a society, they become psychologically bound to each other in a way that is difficult to replicate in open institutions. Moreover, the secrecy creates a protective bubble around the group, insulating it from criticism and external scrutiny, which allows its mythos to flourish unchecked. This echo chamber can deepen members' belief in the group's importance and righteousness, reinforcing a shared identity that is difficult to question from within. In conclusion, the psychology of joining secret societies is not reducible to a single motive, but is instead the result of an intricate interplay of factors that appeal to our deepest needs and desires. Whether it is the yearning for power, the craving for belonging, the pursuit of hidden knowledge, or the romanticism of mystery and rebellion, secret societies offer a compelling psychological package that many find irresistible. They promise not just status or insight, but transformation, a new identity, a sacred purpose, a heroic role in a world of meaning. In a time where disconnection, alienation, and existential uncertainty define much of the human experience, these clandestine communities offer an alluring antidote. A world where nothing is random, everything is connected, and you have been chosen to see behind the veil. The secrecy, the symbolism, the exclusivity, and the myth all combine into a psychological spell that, once cast, can define a person's worldview and identity for a lifetime. In this way, secret societies remain as psychologically potent today as they were in ancient times, not because they have changed, but because the human soul remains forever drawn to mystery, belonging, and the quest for ultimate meaning.